AllBall TV.
They scared, but I'm not.
They don't like comentario.
Y suscribe.
Gilbert Arena speaks to Kevin Durant saving Steph Curry's legacy, and he doesn't understand why people don't look at it that way.
A problem with narratives, and I think I put it in the group chat. We give credit to the people who stayed home, right? Right, and I was saying, Steph's legacy, we get to use 4 championships, right, for his legacy. KD was part of 2 of those, but he don't get his credit for those 2, right? So we don't say, yeah, you get to cement your legacy because you have 2 rings. We say, oh, you left and you went over here. Well, you're giving him credit for the 2 that I helped him get.
Who's not giving him credit?
Everybody, nobody. Just like with Michael Jordan, Kobe, Bird, and they all get credit for the championships because they stayed home. Now, anybody who left to go get championships, you discredit them, but you don't discredit
the 2 that
you don't discredit for Jordan. People coming to him, those stars that left their teams. You just say Jordan got 6 championships.
I don't think it's a discredit though. I just think
Dennis Rodman went there, helped them get 3. Ron Harper helped them get 3.
Hollywood Harper.
Like you had people leaving their cities, stars leaving their cities, going there winning to help that star. So if a star wants to leave because no one's coming here and I want to go and team up and we win, how am I getting discredited because I left?
Flea, what do you think so far?
I think
Flea is so over Gilbert. Go ahead.
I don't know, man. I'm gonna cut Gil some slack today. Like I understand the sentiment, but here's my thing. Let's say we do take out those championships, right? Let's say Kevin Durant doesn't go there. Let's say we take those out, and let's just leave the 2 that he's won by himself. When Steph retires and is done, and we're talking about legacy and comparing legacies, and he has 2 championships, and he's a Finals MVP, and he's still a unanimous MVP of the regular season. Like those championships are great. That it puts him like up there. But let's not act like he didn't win championships by himself, and not by himself, but in a role where he was the best player on the team. It happened. Those 2 in the middle are absolutely staples. They put him in a different stratosphere, and it just so happens that it happened with Kevin Durant. So I'm always gonna say, I'm gonna stand on that. I've said this a year ago, 2 years ago with y'all. It was the perfect storm. Like it was that marriage that I needed you and you needed me at that moment. At that moment, it was, yo, we need each other, and so let's go forward and bang out 2 in a row. Because guess what? The 17 and 18 Golden State Warriors, all 3 of us, everybody in the comments, most people that was watching basketball kind of figured they were going to win, right? It took away the competitive nature. It took away some of the surprise and the allure of the NBA because they were just so damn good. So you kind of figured like, okay, they're gonna win a couple, and that's that. They was about to win 3 in a row. Let's keep it real, right? So I just think I'm not a guy that kills Kevin Durant. I'm not that guy that said, oh, he left OKC and went. I'm not that dude. Like he's part of an era that consistently did that. So if we're gonna criticize him, there's so many other guys that we can start criticizing about them skipping town and trying to figure out ways to attach to winning teams. So I'm not about to kill him for that. I just think that, I mean, that doesn't matter to me. I don't. Why are we even like comparing those 2 guys' legacies? Again, if you take those 2 championships out, Steph Curry is still a champion. So I don't think it's gonna do anything for me when I put him in the pantheon of greats. He's still gonna be one of the greatest of all time.
But we do compare. That's what we do.
Yeah, Kevin Durant will have some problems though. So it's not. I don't think it's an indictment on Steph Curry. it's more if we're gonna do that, it's more of an indictment on Kevin Durant. Okay, I can't win with Russell Westbrook in Oklahoma City. I got to do something.
I wonder, right? If Kevin Durant never went to Golden State, would he have won a championship? Right? Let's say he stays in OKC and him and Westbrook figures it out. Let's say James Harden, leaves. I know there's a whole lot of ifs, but this is what basketball talk is. Let's say James Harden still leaves, goes to Houston, and they fill that void. How would we look at Kevin Durant if he never went to Golden State and still won a championship, right? But I'm going to say this with Steph. Flea, you made a great point. We need to stop holding what Kevin Durant did against him because we've seen it done many times and it didn't work. Barkley to Houston, Scottie Pippen to Portland. The list can go on and on and on.
Karl Malone to the Lakers.
Right, him and Gary Payton. Shaq, how many places he attempted to go and it didn't work. Boston, it worked one time, it didn't work as many as it should have. So, I'm going to say this. Gilbert Arenas has a point. When people do talk about Kevin Durant, they rarely bring up those 2 rings. But they're quick to bring up Steph Curry got 4. But they never bring up, and I've always brought this up, Flea Fade. I don't like how people tuck under the rug. Steph Curry might have one of the probably worst meltdowns in NBA history if we're going by logic. Best record, 73-9. Unanimous MVP, up 3-1, and you lose in the finals. Then he stunk it up, even though KD and Klay Thompson got hurt against Toronto. So, Steph Curry does have some blemishes, on his track record that people fear to bring up because it's hard to root against Steph Curry, man. I'm just being honest, man. It's very hard to root against him. And I notice, guys that's hard to root against, we tend to don't want to say nothing bad about him. But Kevin Durant did save his legacy because if Steph Curry only has 2. He's nowhere near the greatest point guard of all time. And then now we're debating, is he better than Isaiah Thomas? Now, if we're talking impact, yes. But if he only has 2, if we talk about that list, is he the greatest ever? Because remember, a lot of people have him the greatest point guard they've ever seen. Regardless if you think he's a combo guard or not. With 2 rings, he's not in that conversation. He's not in that GOAT conversation. He's not in top 10 greatest players all time conversation if he only has 2 rings. So let's not act like Kevin Durant going over there. I don't want to say saved his legacy because, like you said, Flea, you made a great point. He would still have 2 championships. He would still have a Finals MVP, a unanimous MVP, 2 MVPs in the regular season. Greatest shooter all time. He's going to break records with the 3-point shot. So he would still be considered top 5 greatest point guards. But with only 2 chips, he will not be considered top 10 greatest basketball players we've ever seen. So I think, us saying, well, Gilbert saying he saved his legacy, I would more so say he helped Steph Curry's legacy to the point where some people have Steph Curry in their top 5 greatest players all time, whether we want to admit that or not or agree with it or not. So I think KD is responsible for helping Steph Curry, man.
I thought you wanted to chime in real quick.
Nah, I can't argue. I can't argue with it, right? I can't give any pushback on that because that is the facts. But so many things happened within that for us to, we could highlight Steph being up 3-1 and, them coughing up that lead to LeBron and them and them losing that championship after winning 73 games that season. But the series prior in the Western Conference Finals, Kevin Durant was up 3-1 against a 73-9 team, right? He had them against the ropes. He had a foot on their neck. He just had to close the deal. And that was one of the first times we saw KD not come up big in a big moment. So, all that whole summer for those two guys were extremely disappointing. Both guys coughed up 3-1 leads and potentially could have put themselves into another stratosphere. Think about this, OG, and like you said, we do the ifs with basketball talk because that's just what we do.
Right.
73 wins and they win the championship and Steph Curry gets finals MVP. How do we look at that? That team goes down as arguably the greatest team of all time in some people's eyes. The conversation completely changes, Fabian, when you start talking about that 2016 Golden State Warriors team. If they seal the deal and win a championship, the conversations are completely different. Completely different.
That's what
What
winning.
if they win that one? KD still comes and they win back to back. So now that's 3 in a row. He doesn't tear his Achilles. Clay doesn't get hurt. 4 in a row?
Well, it would have been
Right?
4.
Like, so,
if they get the back-to-back, they would have been 4.
Right. So, you know what I mean? Like, again, a bunch of ifs, a bunch of what ifs. We get that. But I think both of them needed each other in that pivotal moment of their careers. Like, it was just I need you, brother. I need you too. Let's make it happen.
Winning does help all of that. Like, you know, if Curry and them pull that off and they get Kevin Durant and they won before KD gets there, then we look at that differently. Like, you came to join them because you beat them 3-1 and you came back down 3-1 against them. I just feel like there's no way possible that you can compare their legacies. For me, it's on a basketball impact standpoint, the way Steph Curry's beloved for a reason. Like, they, you know, there is a thing to being like that much, and it's hard to root against you and it's hard to criticize you. His fan base is crazy. We just haven't seen anything like this, really. You know, the Jordans of the world and Iversons and all the icons, yeah. But he revolutionized the whole era. So you brought this up before, or ball, when you said LeBron y'all keep comparing him to Mike, and he hasn't even got past if this is the Curry era yet. This is LeBron and Curry's era. It really isn't Durant's era, and Durant started off, it was neck and neck, him and LeBron. Curry took it from him. The unanimous MVP, all that, like, that stuff matters. And you went to the team that you were down 3-1 to. That's like Curry joining LeBron at the next season. It's the same thing. He won up LeBron going to Miami. I don't think it's anything like Karl Malone and the Lakers, Charles Barkley and the Houston Rockets. Them guys were old. Kevin Durant was smack dead in the middle of his prime, going bananas. I don't think it's anything like that. I think we look at it for the very reason that it is. No, we're not going to take that away from you, Kevin Durant. You did that. We don't like that. Yeah, everybody saw the ratings and it went bananas and everything. No, we don't respect that. We don't. Gilbert Arenas is sitting there, built his own show up, the Gills Arena. He has 20 channels. You telling me if Rashawn McCants or Kenya Martin, they were basketball players, but if they become stars out of nowhere, that's not Gills Arena no more. That's your house. You get the credit for building something. So if McCants blows up, all right, McCants is bigger than you now, but that was your house. Miami was D Wade's house, and LeBron came over there. We do look at that a little bit like, okay, you had to go over there and link up with the best players. We do taint LeBron for that, for going to somebody's home. Yeah, that's how it is. That ain't nothing to be criticizing like that. Yeah. We're going to always knock Durant for that. He deserves that. AllBall TV.
They scared, but I'm not.
They don't like comentario.
Y suscribe.